Well, well, well. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John here at Casino Gaming TV. Let's get rolling right away. I got kind of a weird day today. I got a hard stop here at about 8:45 or so, so I'm going to have to burn through some stuff with you all. A couple of folks got sick at work, so we're going to have to run through it that way. So anyway, let's get set up here. We're going to start off a couple things to get before we go. Hopefully you can see this. This is the chip that I got from Louis. Steel Legion on Discord, by the way, beautiful chip. His chip, and he sent me a note with it too, has got his family crest on both sides, the different version of the family crest, and a nice story about how the crest got A, discovered, B, created, and the artwork behind it. Very, very cool story. It's cooler. I mean, the chip is great, but the story behind it, I think, is really fantastic. So anyway, thanks, Louis, for that. We'll have that up on our table today all day for good luck. We'll leave it right there. Let's start out with the strategy that I've been working with for the last week or so. Even did a practice session last night, which we'll break down here in a bit. It's really it's a short game kind of a strategy, and it starts out with a YOLO. I'm going to put $750 out here, and it'll be 125 on the 5 and 9, 156 and 8, and 100 on the 4 and 10. And we're going to try and get 5 rolls. As you know, my real goal as a thrower is 7 rolls. If I can average 7, and I don't mean an average of 7, I mean every time getting 7, this strategy can make me some money. Those 7, of course, have got to be productive rolls. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'll work it once just to kind of get warmed up, and then we'll sit and talk about it some, and I'll come back. I'll do some more work with it later on here. So let's heat it up here. Let's just get going and see what happens. No pucks off. I'm not playing the pass line. I'll mark the ATS up, but I'm not going to actually worry about it this morning. There's our 6. We'll mark that up. And now my bets are on. My goal is initially to get 1 hit up in here and regress down to 160. Anything up in here is going to pay more than 160. So I want to get my 160 across paid for and work it from there. This boils down to a YOLO strategy, so I have to avoid big red right now for 1 roll, and then we're going to be, playing pretty clean here. But let's just see how it works out for us this morning. Nope, 527 right out of the gate. So we end up burning our 750 right out of the chute with a 527. That hasn't happened to me in a while with this one, but again, mornings. Why not throw a PSO live in front of the whole planet, right? That's what I do. No big deal. I'm going to leave the bets up here because we're going to talk about these things as we go later on in the show. I'll leave the same bet cycle up. We'll work it a few more times. And yeah, bad start, but so what? That's how we do it here. That's how we do it. We come out here and we roll 7s every morning. So yeah, let's get over here and talk to y'all. Good morning. Hopefully you can hear me okay. By the way, my microphone may die. If my microphone dies, it'll be a short show. I realized that I had left it on last night, and I plugged it in this morning for about 20 minutes. So hopefully that'll be enough to get us through the day here. So yeah, wow, we have a lot of people here already. This is great. I'll say good morning to the folks I can see here. California Craps Club is here. Sideshow is here. I think you guys are talking about other stuff. I don't know, but Sideshow, good morning. Dice Dr. Dan. Good morning. You're the first one here today, by the way. You win the prize. Louis is here. Of course, I just said hi, and it looks like your icon for your chat is your family crest, which is super cool. Very awesome. Very awesome. And good morning to Dice DGen and On Point Craps Mike. Haven't seen you in a little bit. SJ, of course, is here. Good morning, SJ. I love the fact that you guys it's like your little club that you say good morning to everybody when you roll in here. So anyway, let's get to our announcements. A lot of stuff going on here in our world. It's going a lot. Good morning, buddy. Friday Night Fights was great this week. Unfortunately, Big AZ couldn't do it. He was set to play Rich T, our current champion, but his internet went down. He had a new router put in or whatever, and nothing worked. He couldn't get online. Even with his phone, it wouldn't work. So we missed out on having Big AZ with us, but Slambright stepped up and played Rich T and beat him, and it was a good match. It wasn't one of these matches this time where it was like 1,000-0. They were like really close the whole way through. They played this thing super tight. It was really, really a good match. Well played by both guys. So what's going to happen is Rich T abdicated the throne to Slam Bright. So this week, Friday, Slam Bright's going to play Big AZ. Hopefully Big AZ's got his connections figured out. I know he does because he did some videos over the weekend. He's ready to go. It'll be Slam versus Big AZ. That should be a huge match. Again, it's one of those, the mentor versus the mentee kind of a thing. So that's going to be really, really cool. Just hype it up now. Tell your friends. That's going to be a great battle. Aside from that, let's see what's happening. We had Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps did two videos on this, actually. He had a little live rollout, and he ended up having Badger and Waylon and Greg from 555 Craps join him live, and they all played. Was really cool. Jeff did a recap of that yesterday. That was fun to watch that. I was actually playing Canasta with my wife while that was on, so I had my headphone in, listening in, and I was playing with her, and the math on that doesn't work out so well, fellas, but I tried to pay attention to everybody. Good match. I ended up watching the recap, and I got more out of the recap afterwards because I couldn't really pay attention fully live. When you're not paying attention live, though, you miss out on chatting. Like, I chatted a little bit, but you miss out on some things, and it is what it is. I think these random, hey, people get together and play, it's great. A couple of things came out of that. The idea came out of, hey, let's have another battle type of thing, but let's have a forced battle where dark side, right sides, hybrid, maybe always playing boom, 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 with whoever's dealing, right? That way you get a good sense of, not so much a rooting interest, but you get to see the different strategies play out in real time with real dice. And it's not just me trying to beat you, it's the method of play versus the method of play. I love that idea. I think it's actually, to me, it's educational to see that, and I think it'd be fun to do. And it also gets us targeting certain players who we know like certain ways of play, right? I can go out there, or Greg can go out there and represent the dark side every single time and just have a night of it. That would be fantastic. I love the idea, Jeff. So let's talk more about that as we go. I don't think Jeff's here yet, but we'll talk more about that as we go. Other things to note here, Waylon's got something new. Buckle your seatbelts, everybody. Waylon texted me this morning. He's like, dude, I have got a great strategy. He was literally 15 minutes ago. He's like, I can't even wait to show this strategy. He's uploading it right now. So as soon as my show's over, Waylon's got something where he turned $400 into 4K on a Bubble Crafts machine. So I can't wait to see what that's going to look like. It'll be cool. Duracell wants to know how my party was Thursday. It was so cool. I'm telling you what. I put out this note to my work on Slack, and I said, hey, because they were all like, who's got COVID? Who's going to be there? Who's worried? And I'm like, hey, if I'm coming, I'm hugging. I'm a big time hugger. I'm like, get out there and let's just do it. So I met probably 15 or 20 coworkers for the first time, people that we have hired in the last few years that I've Slacked with and that I've Zoomed with but never met in person. Got to meet them in person. Awesome. It was so damn cool to meet people in person. Robin, who's our campus director, flew out here from Maryland for the night. She flew out here Wednesday and went home Friday afternoon. Just to come out here and say hi to us. It was great. It was a little bit of a drunken brawl. We went over to a place and did some karaoke, which there is no video of, but we had fun. It was a great night. Thanks for asking about that, Duracell. It was great. I didn't get home about 3 o'clock, and that's why I didn't do a Friday show. I wasn't overhung or anything like that, but I was just tired, and I couldn't put a good show out for you, so I didn't. All right, what else is happening? This week, I'm going to bring a guest on. I'm going to have Garrison, the one and only Garrison, come on. Garrison wrote a book called Platinum Craps, which I should have with me. I should show it here. Wrote a book called Platinum Craps. I read the book. I'll do a short review with you at some point here, maybe even today. Who knows? He's going to come on. He's got a big show coming up. I'll let him tell you about his show. He's got a show coming up next week that he wanted to kind of promote a little bit. I had the opportunity to meet Garrison in Vegas. Good guy. Again, you get this impression of somebody from what they look like on YouTube and how they act on YouTube and your vibe from them, and then you meet them in person, and it's a whole different ballgame, right? Garrison's that guy, right? He's comes off as he's a guerrilla marketer, and he's always trying to make a buck off everybody. And I'll tell you what, you meet the guy in person, he's like a regular guy. He just loves craps, loves dice. He is passionate about the things he's passionate about. Put the book out there, and it's great. I love the book for its stories. The book, I didn't get anything out of it really on the dice side of things, because I knew most of what he had written. He has some interesting theories on dice setting, which I think is worth a read, but he's got a lot of great old Vegas stories and a lot of great like at the table stories. I could read books that are like gambling stories or like old Vegas stories and mix in a little bit of don't forget to play the dark side in the books. I got so much out of that book from those storytelling pieces, more so than the other parts of it. It's worth a read just on that level alone. Anyway, good. I think he's a good guy. So Garrison's going to come on here probably tomorrow, the next day, and we'll talk about his upcoming show. I've talked to VDC. Richard is going to come out and talk to us a little bit about trending and some of the things he sees with trends. He's actually broken down some of my throws, my videos, and said, hey, if you played, the trending system that he's worked out, here's what would have happened. He's done it to Waylon a couple times too, and it's less about analyzing a roll and then going back and trying to make shit work. It's more about the way that he charts the rolls. Like when I see an 8 followed by a 7 or 8 followed by a 5, the next time I see an 8, I'm betting a 5. Like he does that kind of stuff. And again, it's years of experience and years of reading it that he does. And it's very interesting. I don't understand it all. Like I said, he's one of the smartest guys I know. Good. That'll be a good talk for us. I may even have him on a few days in a row to help explain stuff. Michael Feldman, I'm talking to on the side to get him on here at one point. Who else was I talking about getting on? I forget. It's escaping me now who else I talked to about getting on here, but it'll if it comes to me again, I'll come back and say it. But we got a bunch of guests that want to come on the show and talk to you all, which is cool. So when I get them, get questions ready. So now that you know that your next guest is going to be Garrison. If you have questions for Garrison, please send them to me over Discord. Just DM me in Discord or put them in the Coffee and Craps channel on Discord. What do you want to know from Garrison? What do you want to know from VDC, from Michael Feldman, and the others that I'm planning to bring on with me so I can get your stuff answered as well as my stuff answered. There's that. All right. Craps Chat next Sunday, 6:30 Pacific time with Jeff and Skill. Of course, it's going to be always a great show. It's like the highlight of our every bi-weekly stuff. All the stuff I do here in the morning, all the stuff Big AZ does at night, all the stuff Sideshow Gamble does in Waylon's videos and all the things, it all is bullshit compared to Craps Chat. Craps Chat is the highlight of me. I love Craps Chat. So cannot wait for that thing to come out next week. And hopefully you'll be a part of it. And finally, chips and lammers. If you want chips, I'll send you a chip. I'll send you a lammer. No cost. Just email me, john@procraps.net with your address. They'll be in the mail this week. If you want a bunch of lammers, I got to charge you for those. Those are $2 a pop. So if you want, like I said, a 20, I got to charge you for 20 of them. But what I've been doing is sending out a lammer, and people say, "Oh, these are really cool. I want more." And fine, you can get more then. That's how we'll do that. So if you want them, let me know. Just drop me an email. All right. What's next up on the thing? The next up on the docket here is this. Midmo-Yo's weekly Here's the Deal. Now, here's the deal this week is how do you handle someone that's wasted? Sloppy, wasted, drunk, and they walk up to the table, they're completely out of sorts, right? They buy in the middle of the roll, and they just yard sale. They yard sale their chips all over the damn place. They spill their drink into your rack, your chips get all wet. It's a shit show, basically. What do you do in that situation? Now, Chiro says this never happened to him. I have seen this happen. I have seen it, not to me, but I've seen it happen at a table where somebody just stumbles into the table and just yard sales and their drink goes all over the damn place. I've seen somebody stumble in the hallway, like behind the table, and stumble into people playing craps and knock into them, and it causes chips to go everywhere. It's a disaster. I'll tell you this. I do my show, my cocktails and crap show. I like my whiskey, but I'm definitely not a drunk, right? I'm a take the edge off. I'll sip whiskey all night long, but I go from here to here. I just like even keel. I don't do well with drunks. If you know my history, I moved to Seattle to play in a band. I left Jersey. I drove my bass and my amp and like a suitcase full of clothes and a couch. I brought my whole life to Seattle to be in a band. The band was great. I'll give you a link someday. You can listen to all of our music. Our band was great. We were very popular. We did really good. That's how I met my wife, in fact. But my drummer was a drunk. And he would come to shows drunk, and he was a mess, right? We ended up losing him. He was my best friend from from the later years in high school. I grew up with Dave, and he had a rough time, man. He at that time of his life, he was drinking way too much. He was coming to shows drunk, and sloppy drunk, and just doing dumb shit. And I made a decision back then. I was like 21, 22, 23 years old in that age, that I liked to party. I had fun, did my thing. But once I saw what it did to him and how it broke the band up and actually destroyed some friendships along the way, I can't do it. I can't do drunk. I can't be around it. I don't like it. If I'm at a table and somebody is sloppy, and I've been at tables where people are sloppy and they're slurring and they're just doing dumb crap, I leave. I can't. My hair stands up and I have to get out of that situation. I just don't want to be around it. It reminds me triggers me, I guess, of old stuff. I can't do it. I can't do sloppy drunk. So for me, if this were to happen, I'm out of there. If somebody's walking by in yard sales, that's a different story. But somebody at my table, I can't be around. It just causes me agita for whatever reason. And I tell you this, and I've told my students this. I tell my wife, my daughters this. If your hair stands up, right? Like you get that pang in your gut. You're like, ooh, that didn't feel right. Trust it. Your gut's telling you something. Your vibe is telling you something. And when I'm around anybody who's sloppy like that, my hair always stands up. I just get this weird like rush. I'm like, you know what? It's time to get the hell out of here. So Mo, Chiro, I'm out. If I see somebody's wasted, I'm out. If my shit gets yard saled on, the first thing I'm doing is covering my rack. I'm literally covering my rack. I'll get, whatever, whiskey sour all over me if I have to, but I'm covering up my chips. You know me with the lammers, right? I never not know what's in my rack. I always have lammers. I've always got my chips separated. If my stuff gets yard saled, I know exactly to the dollar what I had in my rack. I'm never confused. So if that happens, we can go to the camera and I will tell them I've got $563 in my rack. Go to the tape. And I can for sure document that in my rack. So that's my pro tip of the day for y'all. Know what you got in your rack in case something like that happens. All right. So there's my answer to your here's the deal question. Chiro, I've got my reply from last week's question in the hopper. I actually spent I spent 6 hours yesterday not recording, but sussing down videos to go uploaded, yours being one of them, this one as well. So there we go. Old Bay Craps likes whiskey sours. You know what? I'm more of an old fashioned guy than a whiskey sour guy. The lemon, that's too bitter for me. I get heartburn from it. All right. What is next for us to talk through? Let's see. Ooh, the practice session. So I did a practice session last night. Last night I went live and I practiced for about an hour or so. And I want to break the rolls down. I'll put the link to the video in the description at some point here. It was, if you go to the Pro Craps channel, I think it's called the SRR5 practice session. I rolled like shit. I rolled really, really, really badly last night. And you know me, I'm trying for my 7-roll average, right? I got nowhere near that last night. My SRR was 4.7 last night. And again, that's an average. I don't like talking about the averages. I want every roll to be 7, not the average of my rolls to be 7. Last night, my averages weren't even 5. Here's some of the interesting things that I want to point out to you. So the number of rolls between 7s. Now, this is literally from the time I started rolling to the time that I ended rolling, just the rolls between the 7s, right? Look at all the zeros in there. The zeros represent back-to-back 7s. So 2 rolls, I had like I don't know, 12, 2, 7, 7 to start the thing out. So there's 2 rolls and then a 7, and then I had a back-to-back 7. I had one roll that was one set was 11, one that was 7, one that was 20, 2 that were 5, as far as rolls between the 7s. Look at that, 4 zeros in a row. I had a stretch of 4 7s back to back during this roll. So I did not get anywhere close to what I wanted to with my total number of 7s. My total number of 7s were 16, which means I should have had 16 7s and 7 numbers between them and did not get there last night. If I look at the lengths of the shooters, though, if I picture myself starting in when somebody 7's out, my shooter throws were 6, a bad one to 3, a 14, 2 6s, a 7, and a 28. So if you look at me as a shooter, except for the 3, every shooter was pretty good, right? So again, my personal, the number between the 7s was not good. As a shooter, though, it wasn't as bad as it seems, which is, I'll take that. We had 10 come out 7 or 11s. We had 6 come out 2s or 3s. So and that's important. I'll get to why that's important later on. I had consecutive sevens, 4, and then 3 2s. And this is interesting. I had from a 7 out and followed by a come out 7, 4 out of 6 times. 4 out of the 6 shooters that failed, the next throw was a 7 on my come out roll. VDC had told me this one time. He's like, watch the number of times that somebody 7s out and the very next roll is a 7. He's like, it happens more often than you think it does. You always say it feels like it happens a lot. Look at that. 4 out of 6 times it happened. So it makes you think, like, if you see a 7 out, it might be worth $6 to hop the 7s. In this case here, if I hop the 7s for $6, we would have lost that money twice outright. We would have won 4 times though. We would have won $26 4 times and lost $12 twice. That's a pretty big impact when you think about that. So that's an interesting thing, and I do feel that when I play. I've never charted it. Here I charted it last night, and you can see that it's actually a thing. We made 4 points. I missed 7 points. I did this thing I did today, this YOLO strategy with the 750. 8 times in a row, I made the YOLO. 8 times in a row, we made it. Well, I'll show you again the whole tier 3 strategy here. I got to tier 3 only twice out of 11 points. 11 points got set. I got to tier 3 2 times, which means although my roll lengths were long, they were shitty rolls. There were just a lot of horn numbers and garbage in there, and I wasn't making. Actually, in that strategy, if you're making points too fast, it isn't good either. So I did good on the YOLO. I did terrible getting to tier 3. I did hit the small 1 time, but look at this. If you add up the come out 7s, or actually add up all the 7s, every 7 takes away your ATS. I lost $400 between 16 7s taking my ATS money. $400 we burned on the ATS. My pass line net was $25. We lost on 6 come out 7s. We lost on 7 points, but we made 10 come out 7s and we made 4 points. So it nets out to be $25 on the positive for the pass line. I won the ATS once on the small, and overall for 350, I burned 400 on the ATS itself. All those come out, the come outs being basically even, I end up losing money on that. I won the small and lost money. So know that, right? Know that on a pretty average night, which this was, hit the small, lost money on it. So it seems like it's a good bet. It ain't a good bet, I'm telling you. The don't pass was a negative 25 because we did make, we had 7 point losers, which is great. We had 6 come out winners. That's 13. That's great. But we had 4 points made and 10 come out losers for us. So it ended up being a net of -1. If you're betting streaks in there, you're okay. You're making money. If you look back at screen as a don't pass player, and what I always say to you on the don't pass is this: the don't pass's nemesis is going to be, well, that's the wrong way. The don't pass's nemesis is going to be that come out loser. 10 come out losers. We had 10 come out losers that whacked the don't pass, right? Versus 6 come out winners. You're net -4 on the come out on the don't pass, and you're net positive. If you look at the points made, you're +3 on points made, like you should be, right? This leads me down this kind of like do we don't on the come out and lay odds on the numbers. You're going to end up being probably okay. This is a interesting thing. So the field was not very hot. We had a couple of decent 3 and 4 runs, but nothing to write home about on the field there. So there's that. Let's see. Skill and Lux asked me, when I go to the table, show more than one way, dark versus hybrid, whatever I do. I will. What I like to do though is, me. When I'm practicing a thing. I'm just going to work through like this strategy and get it to find the soft spots versus doing like random me, like that kind of thing. I can do some of that, simulate gameplay and give you a sense of how I work my dark side hybrid stuff when I'm not the shooter. But I'm trying to really get my shots dialed in, and that's what I've been working so hard on. So, all right. So that's my breakdown of my rolls last night. Watch the video. Here's a breakdown of it. It's an average set of rolls, not very good. Probably what you see at the casino, frankly. Still made some money, actually. After all that, we made a little bit of money. But it sure tells me a lot about the ATS. I mean, people make money on the ATS, but it is a bleed. It's a bleed. Those 10 come out winners that we had, every one of those come out winners stole $30 from me. Basically, at 125, I lost 30 every freaking time. It just felt like I was treading water, and why am I doing this? The whole time I'm playing that, I'm like, why am I even doing this? It made no sense. All right, so let's go back and talk about the, the 3-tier strategy. I'm actually going to roll. I'm going to go to the table here and talk to you about this at the table. The 3-tier strategy. So this is what I was running last night. I ran this a little bit last week, and this to me really speaks to why the 7 rolls to me is so important. 5 rolls even to me is important. And this strategy is a 5-roll strategy, right? If I can get 5, we're going to be okay. So let me show you how it works. It starts out with, in my case here, I'm doing 750 because the numbers make sense. It's easy to add this up. But really, here's how it's going to work. Let's put the rolls out. Let's say roll number 1, I'll put it down. I'll put it here, I guess, in the rack. Roll 1 is setting the point. Okay, let's make a point of 9. It doesn't matter what it is. That's roll number 1. Roll number 2, bets are on. Roll number 2 is give me anything in here. I don't care which one it is, right? It could be, and the worst case scenarios is a 5 or a 6 or an 8 or a 9. These here, they pay $175. I'm going to pay them in green. They pay $150, $75. That's what gets paid on the 5, 9, 6, or 8. The 4 and 10 pay $200. But let's take these as the example, okay? If we survive the 1 roll, you just got to avoid, like I did this morning, the PSO. Avoid the PSO, and the 750 comes down and goes back into your rack. Let me get all this back set up. Back into your rack we go. There's your initial starting bankroll, your 750, okay? We set ourselves back up with our winnings at 160 across and bring back $15 in profit. So within 1 roll, if you're avoiding the PSO, which again, I didn't do today, but I was good yesterday with it. You avoid the PSO, you're locking $15 and you're at what I would call my base, my 160 across. That's 2 rolls in. Now what I'm looking for is 4 rolls from this point forward. I need 4 things to happen. I need to get anything to hit, okay? And I'm gonna do the inside out pressing. So the 6 and the 8 come. Let's say a 6 or an 8 comes. That's gonna pay, there's $35. $35 it pays. I would drop $1 from my rack if I had it. Okay, drop $1. So it's $36. And you're gonna do a full press on the 6 and 8 to $48. Let's say that one of these 2 hits, okay? That's 56. 55, $56. We'll take $6 to the rack. We'll press the 5 and 9 by $25 each. Let's say the 5 or the 9 happens to hit, right? That was roll 3. That gets us here. Roll 4 got us the 5 and the 9. Roll 5, let's say the 5 and 9 happen to hit. They pay $70. We're gonna take 60 each and go to the 4 and 10. That's roll 5. Roll 6 is the money shot. No matter what happens in here, let's say the 5 hits again, right? There's $70 and it all comes down. That's roll, total of roll 6. It all comes down, right? We can take everything back to 160. Like so, we're back to 160. And what comes back to the rack is all those winnings that were stacked up the whole way through. And we're gonna have 2 choices to make at this juncture. We're gonna have, there's gonna be, with 5 whites, that'll be $75. In reds, I'll get those brought out. There's 75 in red. That's 100, 225 bucks. Come back to the rack. Now look, we had the initial YOLO. One is $15, and now we've got $245-ish in the rack, plus 160 out here. If I pull the 160 down, let's do it. Let's make that choice, that stay or go choice we talked about last week. If I bring this back, there's 375, and that's actually $400 with the greens and the reds. That's $400. Okay, so in 6 rolls, you're at $400, $407. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. From 750 to 400 and change in 6 rolls. That's why 7 is important to me. If I can roll 7, I can get here and I can be out, right? But it takes 7 box number hits to get it done. It takes 7 good rolls to get it done. So if your average roller, you're gonna have a come out 7, you're gonna have a couple of horn numbers in here, and I bitch about the horn numbers all the time because I need 7 or 6 box numbers to make this thing work. It's wickedly hard. Last night I ran 8 shooters. I got to this exact point 2 times out of 8. Hard to get there, but it's my strategy, right? This is the way that I want to play, because once I'm here, if I don't pull this back into the rack and go home, if I leave the 160 out, now I'm doing white, white, red. That's the third phase of it. That's the short game that I want to play. We should have, this choice of walking with $400 or playing with 160 on the felt and 200 and change in your rack. That's the goal. Last night I tried this. I was not shooting well, couldn't get to goal, but that's the idea. Turn 750 into 400, right? Or turn 750 into 250 and play with 160 and try and jack this thing to the roof. That's the idea of this aggressive right side play. And again, it's the whole reason why I practice so hard and focus so much on getting 6 to 7 rolls every time. I don't care about the 20 roller. The 20 roller is beautiful. I can get the small or the tall, or I can, get a number up to black level like I did a couple times last night. That's great when that happens. That's a miracle when that happens. I'm looking for the normal. The normal to me is 6 rolls and get the hell out of here if I can do it. That's what I want. That's my short game strategy. This is the way that I would, if all things are equal and I can roll like a champion, this is what I want to see. So I'm going to play this out a little bit. I'll zoom the camera out here in a minute, and I'll get myself reset here on the rail. And what I'm going to do is lay out. Whoops, that's wrong colors. I'll lay out my 750 like we saw, and we're just going to use the chips here. I will track the ATS because it's fun, but really I'm going to use the lammers to mark how many times I turned the 750 into something. Okay. You can see my rack up in here. We'll use my, I didn't change the camera yet. There. My rack up top is where the money's going to be on the right side there, where it says 5 count and come. I'm not sure why it says 5 count and come, but I didn't know that was even labeled like that. This should be the dice, and this should say the rack. I'm not sure why. Sorry about this. This is like driving me crazy though. Rack. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's roll it out a few times. And again, we're going to get a point set, and we're going to see how many times I can turn this into something. Again, we'll put lose chip right there on the 12, and let's get going here. Let me get the roll tracker set so I can see it. Hopefully we won't have any more erasures of the roll tracker. So let's get going. I'll get them set. I'm gonna, again, try and throw right today. So let's see what happens here. We'll get a point set, and then we'll see how it rolls out for us. Here's a 5, 3, 8. That'll be our first point. I'm gonna mark the 8 here in the ATS. There it is, 5 and a 3. And I think your roll tracker is updating live. I changed the link to the roll tracker so I can hopefully guarantee that it's going to be clean for us. Here we go. Now here's the YOLO, right? The 750's out there. Let's beat Big Red, and we don't. My God, today's going to be one of those days like yesterday, right? There's a 617 out of the gate. So right away, we're going to lose this, of course. And I'll use this down here. I'll use the don't pass to kind of note the loss, the actual getting our ass kicked losses, and we'll see what else we can do. There's one. And again, zero warm-ups today, just kind of showing up and getting this thing done. So let's go. All right, point's going to be nothing. There's a 4, 3, 7. Sorry, Lou. I disastered your chip there. We had a 6-1 and then a 4-3, so there's 2 7s back to back. And again, look at that from this morning's little talk there, right? How many times do you see the roll ending 7 followed by a come out 7? Let's keep an eye on that, because that's an interesting little tidbit there from BDC that's look at that trend that we see. That's crazy that I talked about it, and of course we just literally did it 2 seconds later. So there's a 5, 3, 2, 5. We'll mark that 5 up. And of note, right, if we're actually playing the ATS, it looks like this. There's 25 there and there's 30 there, right? On the first roll, we lose the whole 55. On the second roll, what happens, on the second, that come out 7, we lose the ATS and have to replace it again. So you're gonna win down there, replace it here. So that come out 7 does you no good. You lose it here, or you win it here, but you put it right back in. It's a washing machine, right? I think the ATS, it's not that it's a sucker bet, but that's what it is. It literally launders your money. And not a big fan of that. So here we are, we have a point of 5. Our bets are all set. Let's YOLO here and get past it if we can. There's a 3-1-4. So we do. 3-1-4, I'll mark that up. Let's mark it here on the ATS. The 4 pays, again, I don't have the VIGs rolling here, but the 4 pays $200, okay? If I pay the $200 as 100, 200, and we'll do it, I think I can do 75. Like this. There's the $200 for the 4. Let's take our 750 down. Let's see, I'll take this down. There's no good way to do this fast, I'm sorry. We'll take her down. I got too many chips here. Okay, and we'll go to 160. And 160 looks like this with a 4 or a 10. There's 160, and we get $40 and change. So when the 4 or 10 rolls, you get $40 back to your rack. When the 5, 6, 8, or 9 rolls, you YOLO it, you get $15. So either way, you're in profit with your base bet out there, okay? Let's roll it out. Let's, now comes, and actually what we should do is mark it up like I did before. There's roll 1, was the point being set. Roll 2 was me hitting whatever I just hit, the 4 or something, right? Now we're at, can I get 6 more box numbers to hit, or 4 more box numbers to hit before we're done? This is the shooter challenge. Can we do it? There's a 6, 4, 10, 6 and a 4. That makes 10 every time. Let me put those this way here. So that's going to pay again. I don't have. I guess I can do it. I can take the nickel and get 5 whites for it, and we'll drop our VIG down. All right. That's going to pay $50. We're going to bump the 6 and the 8 up. We're going to take the 6 and the 8. I can leave them at 54, or I can power press them to 60. I'll power press them to 60, just because, again, math is hard. We'll do it that way. There's roll number 3 on our first press in here. Did I mark the 10 on the roll tracker? I don't think I did. 6, 4. There we go. All right, there it is. Here we go. There's a 3, 2, 5. That's on the wall. Probably hard to see for you, but a 3 and a 2. There's a 5. That's the 4th roll. I already hit the 5. Well, that's the point. We hit the point there. So the point comes off. 5 pays $35. 25, 35. What we're going to do is we're going to take the green and get reds for it. Press them both by $15. And take a nickel back to our rack. Puck is off. 3, 2, 5. Now, this is the bummer of hitting the point because, right, we had that's our 5th number, right? We had our point being hit, our point being set, our YOLO hit, 1, 2, that was our 3rd hit, right? No, I'm sorry, I miscounted. Point being set, the YOLO working, there's the first one, there's the one that we just had, right? And now we're off, the puck's off. This roll might be a box number that we're not gonna get paid on, right? So I'm working hard here to get numbers between 7s, and we're gonna end up not getting paid. No matter what happens here, we're not getting paid. Unless I leave my bets on, which I'm not gonna do. Puck's on, it's gonna be a 6, 4, 10. Also of note, from a trending standpoint, how many times do you see a 7 followed by a come out 7? Waylon will tell you this. How many times do you see the come out 4 and 10? So often, the 4s and 10s, when they come on the come out, not during the roll. It's just one of those things where that's typically what you see. All right, 6, 4, 10. Let's get that 10 marked up. I think I might have missed it before. And let's go. We need to get another hit inside here so we can go. 5, 3, 8. So we're going to hit the 8. At 50, it's going to pay $70. We're going to take all of that and press up the 4 and 10 to 60 each. Okay. There's our next hit. I'll mark up the 8. So we've gotten 5 productive rolls. Okay. One of these, point being set. One of those, point being set. Right. YOLO. I did do this wrong. YOLO. Yeah. Sorry. Point being set. YOLO win. Number. That was the point getting hit. Point being reset. And now we're at our 1, 2, 3. Our third box number hit. Now here's the one, right? This is the one that lets us make that decision if we're going to keep playing or not, right? This is the one that matters. This is the roll here that I really care about. This sets me up for success. There's a 4. Okay, 3, 1, 4. That's fantastic. A 3 and a 1, right? 60 down here for $2. I think it's $2. We'll pay 120. We can actually do 125 for 5. That's what I'll do. There's a $5 out of my rack. We'll do 125 for 5. And here is our decision. The 4's marked. Our decision now is this. Do we go home? We're for sure going to look at what 160 looks like. I'm going to show you what 160 or the regression looks like so you can see it. There's the 160 across regression. We have 100. There's 200 with my greens. There's 25. There's 50. There's a quarter. So I can take these out of here. We have 285 coming back to the rack. Okay. Plus we already had a quarter in there. So we've got $200, $310 in our rack from just that little bit of the session right there. Okay. So tier 1, YOLO. Tier 2, 4 hits. We did it. I didn't put it out here, but there's our 4th hit, right? Point being set, YOLO, 1, 2, point being set, 3, 4, and we're out. Okay. Mission accomplished. We had our 7 rolls that we needed before we get punched out. Now we have a choice. Take the 160 with us and get the hell out of Dodge, right? That would leave us with, if I take these greens and get a black out of it, with 310 in the rack plus 160, feels like 470 to me. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all after, especially after losing 750 the first time. But here's our chance, right? Tier 3, we are good. I'm happy if all I do is walk out of the casino with the $310. I'm happy with that win right there. If we were actually playing and I'd lost 750 the first time, my gut might be to pull that money back, try it again. Let's roll this out. Let's white, red this now and see if we can't get those numbers hammered up. Let's get those things pushed out. If we can. Did I mark the 4? I did. Let's go. Let's keep rolling it out. And we'll see if we can keep the streak going here and earn some okay money. There's a 5, 3, 8. Now here in this phase, this extra part of the phase, now we just press the shit out of the numbers. We're going to go from 30 to 60. And let's keep marking these things up. There's the 8's already in. The goal here at the 160 level is to get them all to black. Get them to black and start collecting. There's a 6, 2, 8. So I didn't mark the 5, 3. Now there's a 6, 2. So there's 2 8s back to back. 160 or 60 here. That gets paid $70. We're going to take the cap away, make it look like 120. I'll take the greens and make them a black. So 8 is that black. Press. Now we're collecting. If we can get a nice 8. Let's collect and be happy with that. To me, the 8 stays where it is. There's no need right now to press that 8 any higher than it is. Let's get the dice out there. There's a 4, 3, 7. We didn't get to collect on it, which is a bummer. But when I tell you like my personal max for the numbers, if I can get from 160 to 640, get them all to be black, I'm happy with that. They can stay there. They can stay put. And I'm super happy to stay at that black level the whole time. I don't need to press to the speakers necessarily. I'm happy collecting black chips. So there's one run at it. So we had one run where we lost everything. We had another run where we won. I'll put this out here. This 327. So that was roll 2, was a winner of 327. Let's try it again. I'm going to go back out with the 750. Again, here's how I practice it, right? I just literally put the money out and just count wins and losses as I go. That was a 437 to end it. Now let's take a look here. Do we get a come out 7? That'd be interesting. Of course, I'm saying it out loud, so it won't happen. We look at that. Holy crap. Can you believe it? 617. 617. That's twice, right? Loser on the field, loser on the felt, come out winner. It's so interesting how that happens. Absolutely, that is a fluke that I'm doing this, but I think it's kind of funny that it was told to me. I saw it on my rolls last night, and we just saw it here again today. There's the point's going to be a 5-5 hard 10. 5-5 hard 10. There's the dice. So now we're going to YOLO here one time. Okay. And again, we'll track our total rolls. There's the point being set right there. Here's our YOLO shot. That's a, ooh, look at that point being hit right away. 5-5 hard 10. It's back to back right there. 5-5 hard 10. So point being set, our YOLO is a winner right there for $200. Now remember what happens here. We're going to get paid $200. I'll put it on the felt while I take my 750 down. Okay, that goes back to the rack. So we are, no matter what happens, we're clean. When I take my 200 and ask for 160 across, I'm going to get back 40 and change. So we start out this shooter with a $40 win. I'm going to take $5 out of that to pay the VIG that we just had to pay there, and we'll get ourselves set up with 160 across. Off with the puck. We did get our YOLO win. Now let's get a point set. And again, it all comes down to shooting now. This is where we can, make this happen. There's an 8. There's a 5-3-8. We mark the 10 and mark the 8. 5-3. Okay, so here, I'm not going to mark the number out here because that getting the point set, I guess it kind of matters. Let's put it out there. There's the point being set. I'll put the ones that are kind of towards you. Point being set, and we'll mark our winners down here. So we have to work here, right? Hitting a quick point doesn't help because now I wasted a roll to get a new point, which if I'm looking for 7 rolls between 7s, I just burned one of them, getting that point set. It just gets me closer and closer to where I don't want to be, as does this, right? The 3-1 or the 2-1-3. It's nice for this ATS, but it's a waste of a roll. I get nothing out of that. Matter of fact, what I can do here is this. I can put a black chip out here next to it and say wasted roll. That's a wasted roll. I'll log it up there so you can see it. And again, how my brain processes what I'm doing. And I'm looking at like the number of rolls total, but how many of them are wasted is a 6-3-9. We'll mark the 9. That's a roll that's going to pay us $35. 25. Actually, I'll do it like this. We'll do it in reds. There's 30. There's 5. I'll get pennies for my nickel here in my rack. So I can do this, drop a penny out. And again, we're going to take the 6 and the 8 both up to $48. There's that second one, right? There's our YOLO hit. There's our point being hit. There's a wasted roll. That's our first shot on the inside here. Did I mark that in the roll tracker? I didn't. 6-3-9. All right. Let's make it work. Ah, shit, 4-3-7. So we didn't get there. We did not get there this time. And that was, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls, right? 2 of them, actually 3 of them, were not things we can make money on. Unless you're working the come outs, you're not getting paid here. So only 2 of the 5 rolls were worth something. And I think when we're looking around at like, how do you work a strategy? How do you design something to win? That's the kind of thing you got to really consider. So let's go ahead and clean up the chips here. Put it all back. I think I have time for one more crack at this before we have to go to work. We had a bunch of teachers calling sick. So, all right. So this roll here, our profit was 25, 30, 39 bucks. We had to pay the dollar vig. That's off 437. Let me check the time, make sure I do have time to do one more roll. I don't actually, it's 8:56, I gotta go. I got a 9 o'clock class that's starting, so I'm gonna have to call the show here, only with getting 3 runs in. So 2 out of 3 times we made money. In both of those instances, we could have made more, right? When you get down to the 40 bucks on the YOLO, you've always got the opportunity, let me come back to the screen here. You've always got the opportunity to pull back that 160. So we got the YOLO to work. We pulled back our 40 in profit. We could just walk, take the 160, take the whole thing as get out of there with 200 bucks on that last one. Or like we did, keep playing and try and, earn 200 and keep playing. So that's it. That's my short game play. That's my 5 or 6 hits, not rolls. Hits are not rolls, to make money. Working my throw like a dog to get to where I can do that on the regular. I want to be able to get the dice every time I know that I can pull this off. I want to know that I can pull off the YOLO, I can pull off 4 hits, and I can get at least 1 number to black. That's what I want. That's why I'm working so hard. And that's the way I practice it. It's what I'm looking for. I track the payout rolls, I track the wasted rolls, I track the ATS for fun, but that's what I'm doing, trying to lock this thing in. It's really, really hard to lock it in, as you can see, but we did good today. Today's rolls were better. My last one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This past one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8 and 5, right? We're right where we ought to be. The second one was a little shorter than it should have been. All right, let's go. I have got to get out. I got to get out of here because I have class. So anyway, I'm sorry for the abrupt exit, but I got a class in 3 minutes. Love y'all. Thanks for being subscribers. Thanks for all the support from all of you. Again, you want a chip? Drop me an email, john@procraps.net. I'm going to work on those. I'll try and get them all out in the mail this week if I can, maybe by Friday. So that's it. Y'all have a great Monday. I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless every single one of you. Bye-bye.